What's good, you guys? It's your boy Ben Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Boy, I had to do this video because this whole situation just got the whole NBA world just heated. It was just juicy. It was just crazy. Um, for those of y'all that missed the game last night, the Los Angeles Lakers were on the road to face against the best team in the Eastern Conference, which is the Boston Celtics, and it was a really great game from start to finish. And both these teams really, competed at both ends of the floor. They were really giving great effort, and it was a close game throughout. It wasn't a huge blowout like we've seen in many games this year, but this was the game that really got everybody's attention, and particularly during the last play of regulation. Now, I watched that play from start to finish, and there was no way you could tell me that the referees didn't want to blow that foul. Like, how could you miss uh, Jason Tatum slapping LeBron James's left arm as he was going for the layup? Now, I'm going to explain it to you in this sequence. Okay, so basically, basically, it was about 4.1 seconds left on the clock, right? 4.1 seconds left on the clock. LeBron gets the inbound pass. Okay, drives left through traffic, and then tries to go left-handed, and he gets hit on his arm by Jason Tatum, doesn't get the call. And LeBron James goes absolutely berserk. He goes absolutely enraged. He was furious. He was irate. I've never, probably the last time I ever seen LeBron James, this furious was back in 2018 during game one of the NBA Finals when, J.R. Smith went into brain lock mode and killed the final seconds of the clock after George Hill missed the second of two free throws. You know what I mean? And then during the break in the intermission, you know what I mean, when between regulation and overtime, LeBron found out that he still had a timeout left, and he just completely lost it, and just pretty much kept his mouth shut. Like he didn't want to say anything that he was going to regret. But in this game right here, like I just felt so bad for LeBron. And again, I'm not the biggest fan of LeBron James. You know what I mean? I'm not a huge fan, but I respect his game and I respect, his contributions to the sport. But you can't tell me that you if you're when you're the baseline official, you can't tell me that you didn't see Jason Tatum obviously slapping LeBron's left arm as he was going up for the layup. Like, I don't understand why you just didn't have the courage to blow the whistle. Like, I've seen, calls that could be ticky tack and then calls that were egregiously missed. But this is a situation where that using the replay could have exposed the real honest truth. But I totally agreed with what Jeff Van Gundy said in the aftermath of this. If you can't review non-calls in those type of situations, then the replay in of itself and the concept is completely meaningless. And I totally agree 100%. Now, granted, I think the Lakers didn't have a challenge left to use, but you can't use it on missed calls. But I should say non-calls. But in this situation here, you can't tell me that the replay can be used on that particular situation, especially on a huge critical possession like that. And I feel so bad for LeBron. I really do. And I've been seeing a lot of egregious missed calls on LeBron James this year. There have been a lot of calls this year where LeBron would drive to the basket and he would get hit big time and he doesn't get the call. And I'm starting to think that this is probably the NBA's, revenge tour against LeBron James. I really do believe that. I believe that that the NBA is trying to, get back at LeBron for all the decisions that he's made throughout his career and pretty much changing, the landscape of the league. You know what I mean? I think that they're doing this intentionally to get back at LeBron. And considering the fact that now he is now about 117 points away from breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's scoring record, they're trying their damnedest hardest to make it difficult for LeBron to get to that milestone. And it's not right and it's not fair. But this is just what I believe. So take it how you want it. But the funniest part about that whole situation was that when Patrick Beverly literally looked at one of the other referees and say, "Go look at the freaking replay. It's obvious," and got hit with a technical foul. Like it was just literally hilarious. But I, it's just like, come on, man. You can't tell me that you can't have the courage to look over the replay and see what was obviously was a foul. Like, come on, bro. Like, it was flat out ridiculous. And as a person that likes watching NBA basketball, like these are the type of situations that really just get me ticked off. That drives me away from watching basketball sometimes because if you can't have the courage to make those calls, then why be a referee? You know what I mean? The baseline official's job is to look for fouls underneath the basket or in the blocks or in the corners. That's his main job. And for him to miss that call is ridiculous. And I do believe that referees need to be held to a higher standard and they need to be fined and accountable for the missed calls. Like every time that a missed call is made, you have every time that a missed call is too obvious, you have to be fined for it. It sends a message that these kind of calls, these kind of missed calls will not be tolerated anymore. Now I know there's going to be a lot of people that will say, "Well, that's not fair," because then there's going to be times where the official will honestly miss the call, but then you'll still get fined for it. Doesn't matter. This puts more pressure on the officials to making sure that the call is made correctly and that the game is called correctly. And that's what my point here is, because obviously the replay is only a blanket to all the mistakes that the referees have done. I've seen replays reviews where you know for some confrontation and then the player gets wrongfully ejected and probably called the wrong person to get ejected or double ejections. Like the replay concept needs to be reviewed and needs to be adjusted a little bit more because it's getting to the point now where a lot of these calls are obviously getting missed and a lot of these calls are being rigged up to a certain extent. And it pretty much violates the point about what Tim Donaghy said about a lot of these officials and what the NBA is looking for. You know what I'm saying? I know people don't like to talk about Tim Donaghy anymore, but can we finally admit the fact that a lot of what Tim Donaghy said back in 2007 was actually legitimately true? Like, come on. You can't tell me that the referees can dictate calls and can swing calls to a certain team to their favor. Like, it's too obvious at this point. But the NBA world pretty much was on signing with LeBron James, and I got to give LeBron credit because he would have had every right to throw a chair or throw something at the officials, and I would not blame them at it at all. But because of the stature of who LeBron is, and because of the pedestal that people put him on, it would have damaged his reputation a lot. So I give LeBron a lot of credit, even though he was so irate, he was beyond furious. I salute him for holding himself back and not, you know, taking it to a dark place where it could have gotten really really ugly. Like, think of it this way: I remembered watching some footage one time when Scottie Pippen was called a technical foul by to referee Joey Crawford back in '95, and then he was called for two technical fouls and got ejected. He literally went to the Bulls sideline and threw a chair, not towards the referee, but pretty much threw a chair across the court. And I'm telling you that sometimes these kind of things will happen, and referees are human and they will miss calls. But then there's blatant missed calls where you either just are doing this on purpose or you're just having an agenda and you don't even want to make the calls. So I just it's just irritating and it's very disrespectful. And plus, before I end this too, I saw a lot of LeBron haters pretty much, soaking this in and sharing about this and saying that this is what you get for all the things you've done for the NBA. You people make me sick. You understand? I understand you don't like LeBron James. I understand that he may have made some decisions or did some things that you don't like or you don't agree with, but to go to that route, like, come on, man, get a fucking life. Seriously. Um, I even saw a person one time pretty much wish that LeBron had a severe ending injury where he would never play basketball again. And that literally drove me insane. Like, you really need to think your mentality over and change your way of thinking in your life. Like, seriously. Just because you don't like a guy doesn't mean that you got to go to that route. But people will turn to do that. So, but I just felt like, I'm not the biggest fan of LeBron, but come on, it was too obvious. And for all the LeBron haters that were cheering for this, you need to really reevaluate yourselves and really need to get a fucking life. That's what I got to say about it. But yeah, it was ridiculous. And I feel bad for LeBron. I really do. And this is something that needs to be changed sooner enough. But I do believe that this will not change until the players start unifying together and pretty much telling the referees association that this has got to stop. You're going to see more and more missed calls like this more often. And but in particular, in these kind of situations, it just takes away the value and the integrity of the game. And it's not the fans' responsibility to protest for the players. The players have to want to see change from these referees and an interpretation of missed calls and the replay reviews. They have to be the ones to end up taking that fight. Otherwise, it just falls on deaf ears. And then when players talk about missed calls to the media, they get fined for it. It's like it's a never ending cycle. It's been happening that way since the NBA was created. So it's got to be done somehow, and it's going to be up to the players to finally unify together and say, hey, no more. So that's just my 2 cents of the whole thing. You let me know what you think in the comment section below, and with that, I'm out. Peace.